welcome back to the channel, and welcome to another deep closer look at a great band. Today we're going to be looking at The Jam, just because it's a band that I grew up with, along with other sort of bands of that era. I mean, when I was really young, like in the sort of like mid to early 70s, I was really into stuff like 10cc, Dr. Feelgood, Sparks. I really loved the rock and roll band Darts, if you remember them. I really liked them. And then we got to the later part of the 70s, and I got into Ian Dury and the Blockheads, and The Jam was one of them. And then we had the two-tone scene come not too long after the sort of Jam came on the scene. And The Jam, when I started to buy CDs, one of the first CD box sets I ever brought is this one we're going to look at today. And it's quite old, it's quite tatty, but we're going to have a look at it. And we're also going to have a look at another Jam box set I've got. So let's not waste time. Let's have a deep down look at The Jam. So here it is, guys. One of the really first box sets I brought. There were two box sets that I brought around when I really got into sort of like CDs and stuff, of two of my favourite bands of this era. This one by The Jam, and another one I bought which is quite similar but more of a book shape, and that was by The Police. We will look at The Police another day, but today we're looking at The Jam. As you can see, it's really tatty now. It's so old. This was come out from Polydor. It's a 5 CD box set, including 117 digitally remastered tracks, including 22 previously unreleased recordings and 6 B-sides on CD for the first time, an 88-page booklet, linear notes, gig list, discography and rare photos. So, and then we've got all the track listing there on the back, which I can't read because it's so small. So let's have a look. It needs a bit of me to tape that there, really. So this is the booklet. We'll come back to the booklet in a minute. Here we have the CDs. They're all individually in here, in this kind of retro kind of Vox guitar amp and guitar sort of looking thing. And there's the discs themselves. They are in here. The CDs are still in amazing condition, and they're all labelled just like that with 1 to 5. There's 5 discs. So we'll go through the tracks. This is disc 1. We've got In the City, Taking My Love, Art School, I've Changed My Address, Slow Down, I Got By in Time, Away from the Numbers, Batman Theme, Sound from the Street, Non-Stop Dancing. That reminds me of Derek and Clive, the Non-Stop Dancer. Time for the Truth, Bricks and Mortar, All Around the World, Carnaby Street, The Modern World, London Traffic, Standards, Life from a Window, The Combine, Don't Tell Them You're Sane, In the Street Today, London Girl, I Need You, Here Comes the Weekend, Tonight at Noon, and In the Midnight Hour, which is the Wilson Pickett track. Yeah, The Jam were kind of, they were classed as a mod group, but their music was very similar to, like, if you think of things like the Small Faces and that kind of thing, but with a more punkier edge, because that was the scene at the time. Just trying to get these into some sort of order. There we go, we'll pop those 3 there. Right, so number 2. They're all the same. They've got blank on the back with different pictures. Here they are on the Old Grey Whistle test, and I've already shown you the CD. The tracks on this one is News of the World, Aunties and Uncle, Innocent Man, David Watts with the Kink song, A Bomb in Waldorf Street, Down in the tube station at midnight, So Sad About Us, The Night, All Mod Cons, To Be Somebody, Mr. Clean, English Rose, In the Crowd, Billy Hunt, It's Too Bad, Fly, The Place I Love, A Strange Town, The Butterfly Collection, When You're Young, Smiths Jones, Eton Rifles and Seesaw. So you can see they've sort of, it's the albums pretty much, but they're not in synchronization of like having one album on one CD. They sort of run into each other so they can fit all the tracks in it. And when I bought this box set, I've never ever felt the need to buy any other Jam studio album, simply because this is all you really needed. Disc 3, top of the pops there. On this album we've got Girls on the Phone, Thick as Thieves, Private Hell, Little Boy Soldiers, Wasteland, Burning Sky, Smitha Jones, Saturday Kids, Heatwave, Going Underground, The Dream of Children, Start, Lisa Radley, Pretty City, Monday, But I'm Different Now, Set in the House Ablaze, That's Entertainment, Dream Time, Man in the Corner Shop, Music from the Last Couple, Boy About Town, and Scrap Away. So that's disc 3. Disc 4. We have Funeral Pyre, one of my favourite Jam songs. Disguises, Absolute Beginners, Tales from the Riverbank, Town Called Malice, Precious, Happy Together, Ghosts, Just Who is the 5 o'clock Hero, Trans Global Express, Run on the Spot, Circus, The Planner's Dream Goes Wrong, Carnation, The Gift, The Great Depression, The Bitterest Pill, Pity Poor Alfie, Fever, Beat Surrender, Shopping, Move On Up, Stoned Out of My Mind, and War. They started to get round there, discover their style cancel sound when they were getting in the later part of the band. And here's disc 5. These are going to be some of the sort of like rarities and stuff. We've got In the City, Time for the Truth, Sounds from the Street, So Sad About Us, Worlds Apart, Billy Hunt, It's Too Bad, To Be Someone, David Watts, Best of Both Worlds, That's Entertainment, Rain, Dreamtime, Dead End Street, Stand By Me, Every Little Bit Hurts, Tales of the Riverbank, Walking in Heaven's Sunshine, Precious, Pity Boy Alfie, sorry, The Bitterest Pill, and A Solid Bond in Your Heart. So that's going to be all the sort of rare B-sides and unreleased versions on that one. And then we have the booklet, which looks just like this. It's a long booklet, which is pretty cool though. It had some really nice pictures, apart from obviously the seam spoiling most of the sort of like larger pictures of the band. Lots of writing forward about the band. Musical Express there, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, and the Beatles and the Clash. The Beatles were definitely an influence on this band. So were the Kinks, and so were the Small Faces, 100%. But then so was things like Aretha Franklin and the Motown sound, and obviously the Northern Soul sound was also a big influence upon this. But then again, so was probably the punk scene with the Sex Pistols and bands like that. Quite a raucous little band, but as you can see, it's a great booklet. Top of the Pops pictures there, Enemy pictures, text heavy. There's a lot to talk about with the Jam. There they are on different, when they were on different magazine covers. They were that close to becoming ginormous, just like, you know, like Oasis are today. They were that close to being that big, but they split, yeah, and went their own separate ways. And obviously Paul Weller went on to form the Style Council and then do a successful solo career. Bruce Foxton, the drummer, went on to become a band called From the Jam. I believe we've lost the drummer now. They were a 3-piece band. I'm sure the drummer's now passed on. Here's all the tour dates. I don't think I ever got to see the Jam, if my mind turns up right. I don't think I actually saw them. But it's a really, really cool little booklet. It goes through everything about the Jam. So that was the box set of the Jam, and it's one of the first box sets. And as I said, there was another one, I think it's called Message in a Bottle, the Police one. And it's supposed to have all the studio tracks ever recorded by the Police. Which does... The only thing about these two box sets is that they lack live material, and the Jam again were a live band. So move over, darling, and let's bring in Fire and Skill, which is a live box set of the Jam. So this came out a few years ago now. It's a 6 CD set with 6 previously unreleased concerts, one from each year of the band's career. So it's from 1977 to 1982. That's how long the Jam were around, and it's got a concert from every year of their being about. So we've got a concert from the London 100 Club in 1977, the Music Machine 1978, Reading University 1979, Newcastle City Hall 1980, the Hammersmith Palais 1981, one of my favourite venues, and then obviously they hit big time at Wembley Arena in 1982. But then after that they parted their ways. So let's have a look at this box set. It's got all different ticket stubs lining the inside of the box. We've got our cord here so we can lift out our book. It's got a hardback book which we will come to. It has some early pictures of the band. Paul Weller there. They should have put 6 of these in there, one from each show, but I think there's only 5. There's the art cards, and here are the CDs. So we'll take these out. Let's try and get them in the right order, shall we? Let's see if we can get them in the right order. Right, bear with. So the last one was Wembley, wasn't it? Then that one, then that one, then that one, that one, and that one. So we are now in the right order. And they're all set out like sort of cassettes or sort of demo disc sort of things, you know. It's all set out like that on the front of these covers, see? Which is quite cool. What I would love these bands to do is actually have a photograph on the front of the set list, you know, like they would have at on the stage. Anyway, these all come in a gatefold sleeve. CDs are in here. Have a look. This is the Jam live at the 100 Club, 11th of September 1977. Let me put that in there. The track listing for this concert was I've Changed My Address, Carnaby Street, The Modern World, Time for Truth, So Sad About Us, London Girl, In the Street Today, Standards, All Around the World, London Traffic, Heatwave cover version, Sweet Soul Music cover version, Bricks and Mortar, In the City, Art School, Back in My Arms Again, Slow Down, In the Midnight Hour, Sounds from the Street, Taking My Love, and In the City Encore. So that is the set list for that first concert there in 1977 at the 100 Club. So next up we are in the Music Machine, 2nd of March 1978. I'm not sure where that venue is. There's the disc. It's a single disc, this one, same as the other one. The set list is The Modern World, London Traffic, I Need You, The Combine, Aunties and Uncles, Standards, Here Comes the Weekend, Sounds from the Street, News of the World, London Girl, in the street today, bricks and mortar, the midnight hour, Carnaby Street, all around the world, blow down, and news of the world soundtrack from the soundcheck, sorry. So that is that concert there from 78. So 79, we are off to Reading University, recorded on the Manor mobile unit. The set list on this concert was The Modern World, Sounds from the Street, Away from the Numbers, All Mod Cons, To Be Someone, It's Too Bad, Mr. Clean, Billy Hunt, In the Street Today, Standards, Tonight at Noon, Down in the Tube Station at Midnight, News of the World, Here Comes the Weekend, Bricks and Mortar, Batman, The Place I Love, David Watts, Heatwave, and A Bomb in Wardour Street. So that is the set there, University. They're all really good sound quality as well, guys. These are not bootleg sound, they are full proper studio sort of like mastered live albums. Really cool. So this one's obvious. We're at Newcastle here in 1980. This is at the City Hall. The concert is Intro, Dreamtime, Thick as Thieves, Boys About Town, Monday, Going Underground, Pretty Green, Man in the Corner Shop, Set the House Ablaze, Private Hell, Lisa Bradley, Dreams of Children, The Modern World, Little Boy Soldiers, But I'm Different Now, Start, Scrap Away, Strange Town, When I Was Young, Eton Rifles, Billy Bunce, Down in the Tube Station at Midnight, To Be Someone, A Bomb in Wardour Street, and then they ended the show on David Watts, a 25 track set. So these are great concert, guys. They're really, really cool. Great sound quality, and I love that the sets are so diverse on each one. 1981, we're off to the Hammersmith Palais, if I remember right here. Palais, First Night, The Jam. Okay, so this one we have The Gift, Down at the Tube Station at Midnight, Man in the Corner Shop, Ghosts, Absolute Beginners, A Town Called Malice, Set House Ablaze, That's Entertainment, Tales from the Riverbank, Precious, Happy Together, In the Crowd, David Watts, Boy About Town, Pretty Green, Funeral Pyre, Circus, Going Underground, Big Bird, and Little Boy Soldiers. Great stuff. And then the last disc is from 1982 at Wembley Arena. And the set list for that one is Start, to It's Too Bad, Beat Surrender, Away from the Numbers, Ghosts, In the Crowd, Boy About Town, Get Yourself Together, All Mod Cons, To Be Someone, Smither Jones, The Great Depression, Move On Up, When You're Young, David Watts, Private Hell, Down at the Tube Station at Midnight, Mr. Clean, Trans Global Express, Going Underground, The Pretty Butterfly Collector, and The Dreams of Children, and then The Gift. And that's the set listing on that one. So that is all the live albums that are in here. Let's just pop that cord there so we can pop those back in order in the box here. Fantastic. We'll put the art cards on top and we'll bring forth the book, which is this one, Fire and Skill book. Once again, we've got these wonderful photographs of all the ticket stubs and the Jam Road Crew cases that carry all the amps and speakers. And then we get essays on about the tours, what it was like and how they progressed throughout their career on the tours. I like it because you've got the pictures of the band sort of like integrating into the back of the pages. But really, really nice book. The pictures are kind of strange because they're kind of double visioned, almost like 3D kind of effect to them. So they look blurry, but that is meant to look like that. early picture of the Jam there. Very cool. And then they go on to talk about each individual disc. See disc 3, about the concert, there's reviews about it. So each concert was like that. And then we've got like the Wembley show here at the end. Don't want to show you all because I want you to find it out yourself. Then we've got each track listed down, obviously the credits about each song written by, and etc, etc. So that is the book that comes with this box set. So we'll pop that on there. We will return the lid. And there we go, guys, and that there is my Jam collection. So as you can see, I'm not a completist. There are other things out by the Jam. There's the Jam Live album that came out. I don't own that. It's always been on my radar to get, but I've never owned it. There's I think there's probably other stuff like BBC sessions and kind of things like that. And like Paul Weller, I have a number of his albums. I've got a couple of box sets of his. One's with his first sort of solo albums, and I don't have much on the Style Council, which is strange because I do like them as well. Just have a quick drink, guys. But yeah, but that is my Jam collection, and I've had that CD box set, guys. I think that came out when I was back in the 90s. It must have been, and I've had it since then. I'm sure. It's from that sort of period. Box sets were always pricey. I mean, I bought a few. Like I bought the Police one, the Jam. I bought a David Sylvian one called the Weather Box, which was £50, and I was working at our price when that came out. And my manager said, "You definitely going to buy it yet? Because we're not ordering it in if you're not going to buy it." I said, "I'm going to buy it. I'm going to buy it." And I did, and it was £50. But obviously I had a discount. I was like 25% off, and it ended up costing me like 35 or something like that. So it worked out not too bad. But it was my spending money for the month on records, because when I used to work at our price and stuff like that in the late 80s to the early 90s, I used to budget myself, because I thought I'm going to spend my entire wage here if I'm not careful. And I had other things I wanted to do. I was interested in girls then and stuff like that, you know. So there was other things I wanted to do, and be going out with my mates, going down London and going to gigs. And I can't be doing that if I spent all my money on records, right? Or CDs or VHS cassettes. But I just budgeted myself, and box sets were quite out of the price range a lot of time, you know, but just because you're just thinking, can I justify buying this box set, or can I buy these albums? But you got to remember, back then, you know, CDs weren't expensive back then. LPs weren't expensive. You know, we're looking at $3.99 for like the LP, and it would be like $4.99 or $5.99 on CD. CDs were more pricey than vinyl then. Now it's all reversed, and vinyl is just spiraled out of control. My lad keeps telling me, like, "Dad, get yourself a record player. You love records." I do love records. It's like a piece of art when you hold a record. They're amazing. But do I really want to be going down that rabbit hole of that when I have like probably over 3,000 odd CDs? Do I really want to be doing that? You know, I keep thinking about it and say, yeah, just get the classic albums, Joff. Get the Otis Reddings, get the Marvin Gaye, get the classic albums, you know. Don't go down a rabbit hole buying the CD and the album and things, or, you know, box set albums. It's just so tempting, isn't it? And, you know, lately I've been lucky getting some great box sets. Like you can see behind me there, I've got the Faces at the BBC and things like that. And I have all my old box sets like Led Zeppelin and all these wonderful sets that I've been showing you on my channel, Kate Bush, and all this sort of crazy stuff. But there we go. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed that little look at Jam. I've got some other ones coming up soon. Soon I'm going to be looking at China Crisis and bringing up some of their older albums, because I don't think they get enough attention. And also I'll be doing ones, obviously, like I said, I've got the Beatles coming up, John Lennon, obviously I'll probably do a George Harrison one. What other bands am I thinking of doing this videos on? You know, but I'll try and save some of them for later, and I don't want to rush them all out. I want to just try and put out one a week if I can, and so just to make it easier, because like I said, I don't want my channel to disgrade away from my horror movies, because that's the reason why I'm here. But yeah, I will be bringing some more content out, like I said, on China Crisis. I've got another Marillion video to do, because I've done the Fish period, my 3 great sets from then. So then I've got some recordings from the Steve Hogarth part of Marillion, so we're going to have a look at that as well. Cheers, guys.